Hi, this is Matt Houghton for Sound on Sound. I'm just doing some tutorials on ReVoice Pro 3.2. In this one, I want to carry on looking at the APT process. That's where you apply the pitch, timing, and/or level characteristics of one part onto other parts automatically. And specifically, I want to deal with a problem that's quite common in terms of when you've double tracked and added loads of backing vocals and so on. I'm using Christina Vane's So Easy yet again, so thanks again to Christina for that. You can see that she's got a lead vocal part here, a double track of that lead vocal here, a backing vocal, and I can't remember if it's a double track of the backing vocal or just another backing vocal. But what you can see here is that on the lead vocal, let me just solo that on its own, you can hear that it comes in with the word and.
And
And then if we go onto these dubs here, I won't play them because I've got them grouped at the moment, but you can hear one of them is singing and the other two don't sing that. They come in on the word all. In fact, let's play all three together and the guide, and you can hear what it sounds like.
and all this time.
Okay, so what we've done before is just select the entire audio, right-click here and add our alignment process and have all of the parts down below. Nicely, neatly aligned. That's not going to happen here. If we do that, we have a problem, as I'll show you. So we've selected the selected audio as the source. We've got the guide track as the guide, the one I've neatly called dub 1 as the dub. And we've got three processes, one for each dub, and we're incrementally writing the outputs to these tracks here. So tight timing only, let's just hit new process. And you can see down here, just look at the start time of each of these backing vocal parts, and then look at the start time of each of the outputs. You can see the final one matches the one that had the word and, but the other two have been stretched to align with that word and, even though they don't contain it. Now, if I play that back, it sounds a little bit of a mess, even if the rest of the part has been remarkably pulled into time. So let's just go back here and hear that.
And all.
Sorry, that's just the guide on its own. I'll add the outputs in as well.
And all.
Did you hear that? Let's try it again.
And all.
It's really where the track really needs to come in absolutely bang on. It's actually got it slightly wrong. Now, I could theoretically take one of these outputs and then see where the green processors are. I could drag these back so that doesn't apply, and you can see that should, the rendering's being slow, I don't know why, that should bring the part back into line, but it doesn't seem to work quite right. And another thing to note is that when you start getting the guides process and the dubs process out of alignment, it can cause problems later on, just a bit of instability when you start warping and undoing things. So there's a better way. Let me just step back here so that we remove those outputs. And the way I like to deal with this particular problem is to use the playback range instead of the selected audio. And to do that, you just drag in this grey bar up here. I'll select the whole lot. It doesn't matter. There's more than we need, but that's absolutely fine. It's the other end that we're concerned with. So let's just get back down to the beginning. Okay, so you can see that it's here that we want to come in, and it's somewhere around this blob here. So I'm just going to drag that up to there. And then we just apply the APT in the same way that we did before, with exactly the same settings, except that where we select the initial input start and end, we want it to say selected playback range. Hit new process. And now these two outputs, sorry, you just heard me hit a note there. These two outputs now should be nicely in time. However, this last one now, we've snipped off that word and, which we might or might not want to include, but let's just assume that we do. And the way to deal with that is to select its process and just drag it right back to the beginning of that phrase. and then drag the corresponding one on the guide just back to the same point. But I like to do it just slightly outside, because for some reason it just causes fewer headaches later on if the guide one is longer rather than shorter than the dubs process. I mean, they need to be the same, but if you get them perfectly aligned, you might be just a sample or two out or something silly, and it can cause a bit of instability. So there we are. It's not rendering quickly. I think I've changed the settings there for some reason, so it wasn't doing it in the background. Right, let's right-click on the playback range and delete it, because I don't want that to affect our playback here. And if I play it back now, you should hear it's all bang on time.
And all this time wasted on you, I'll start anew.
There we go. That's how to deal with that fairly common problem.